Hello, this is cjhoyle. Today is Sunday, May the 9th, 2021, and I've just made a right turn from Yonge Street onto Aylmer Avenue. And in this video I'm going to be giving a narrated tour of riding down Rosedale Valley Road into the Don Valley, and then riding along Bayview Avenue in the south direction, which is a portion of the street which is currently closed to vehicles but open to pedestrians and cyclists as part of a program called ActiveTO here in Toronto. So my ride will begin with a fair bit of a downhill, and this building that you can see over there on the right, one with all the glass on the front and a couple stories tall, that's called the studio building, and it was a place where the group of 7 painters used to use as a studio. And this is my second time making a video riding down Rosedale Valley, and I actually learned about that building through a comment that was left on my last video of this portion of roadway. A little over a year ago I filmed a video where I rode down this same road, but when I got to the bottom of it I turned left and headed over to the Don Valley Trail, where in this video I'm going to be turning right and heading down Bayview all the way down to Front Street, which is the portion of roadway that's closed to vehicles right now. So starting from that road back there, which is called Park Road or Park Avenue, there's a multi-use trail which starts, and you can see that those other cyclists over on the right are making use of that. I've decided to ride on the road for going down. I find that given that there's a nice slope to get you down this road, that I'm pretty well able to keep pace with the cars that are coming down here. So I like to ride on the road here and leave that multi-use trail for the cyclists who are coming up the hill. So we're just riding underneath of a bridge here. That's Mount Pleasant Road that passes over the Rosedale Valley. There's quite a few bridges and roads which pass over this valley, and while you're crossing them you might not even be aware that there's a valley underneath the way that the bridges are built. This next bridge is for Sherbourne Street. And you can see that all the trees and little plants that are growing close to the ground have all started to sprout up now. Like I said, when I filmed this the last time, it was a little over a year ago, but it was during the month of March before any growth had really started. And you could really see, the shape of the valley because none of that stuff had grown, and you could kind of see through all the all the deciduous trees had their trunks and everything, but they hadn't leafed out yet. Alright, so we've got 2 more bridges up ahead to go underneath it. The first one is the one that carries the Line 2 subway, Bloor Danforth, that goes through a sort of a tunnel sort of a bridge. It's kind of interesting. That's that first one, and the one after that is for the road which runs adjacent to it, which is Bloor Street East. It's kind of a chilly morning this morning. I think it was about 9 degrees Celsius when I left home, so I've dressed for it with my breathable long pants and jacket over top of my short sleeve shirt. Yeah, there you can see some people who are walking or riding up the hill. given that they're climbing, they end up going, you know, kind of slow. And I don't find that that narrow multi-use trail works very well with people who are going down a hill and going, you know, faster than usual, and people who are climbing the hill going slower than usual. So, like I said, that's why I choose to ride on the road here instead. Although this road is in pretty rough shape, it's pretty bumpy. I can certainly feel the bumps, although I think the image stabilization on this camera does a pretty good job of canceling those out for those of you who are following along at home. Alright, so we're just about at the point where Rosedale Valley Road terminates, and there's a T intersection with Bayview Avenue, which is a major north-south street, which starts in the downtown and it goes, you know, all the way up, and there's actually, Bayview actually goes further north than Toronto. It goes beyond the city limits. Alright, so here's the portion of road that's closed, so we'll come this way. The city calls it major road closings, but if you're somebody like me who is car free and likes to ride a bike and walk around and stuff, it's not really like they're closing the road, they're opening it up for people like me. So they started doing these last year. I mean, lots of cities around the world have had this sort of a program where they will close a, you know, roadway on the weekends for people to, you know, participate in active activities outside. But Toronto just adopted this last year as part of their COVID-19 response, and it's been a very popular program. Now you can see that beside me there is sort of a multi-use trail on either side, protected bike lane with concrete. That only goes as far as here, which is called River Street. But that was also added new last year. Before then it would have had more, you know, vehicle lanes in either direction for going through that stretch there. And I think part of the reason why they put that in is because the city's planning on doing some major construction work on the Lower Don Trail, which is over to the left of where I'm riding right now. There's some train tracks, and just beyond there, there's a narrow little trail called the Lower Don, which is a very popular trail. I did film a video riding down it many years ago, but it's been in rough shape. Particularly that portion has been in pretty rough shape for quite a long time. So while the city's working on it, having that other connection there is pretty important, as well as what they're doing here with this, you know, fully closed roadway like this. This is only on weekends though, only on Saturdays and Sundays, and maybe on a long weekend it's also open on the additional day of the weekend. But yeah, this is a really nice way of being able to get downtown. It's really fast. So the portion that's closed to vehicles is all the way from Rosedale Valley Road, where we got onto this, as far as Front Street, down in an area known as the Canary District. And I know I said this is a pretty popular city initiative. You see a lot of people here cycling and walking around and enjoying it. While I'm filming this video, there aren't an awful lot of people out, and that's because it's actually fairly early in the morning. I left home at around 8:30, so it's probably not even 9 o'clock yet here. So for a Sunday morning, I'm sure lots of people are still at home, but on a nice sunny day like this, I'm sure you'd see a lot more people out here later in the day. So the Canary District was named after a famous restaurant that used to be part of this neighborhood here, and this whole area was redeveloped. I guess it's still being redeveloped, but sort of the beginning of the redevelopment was about 6 or 7 years ago, and it was sort of timed around the Pan Am Games, which was hosted here in Toronto in 2015, and the Athletes Village was part of the Canary District. And so basically it was housing that was already being built here, but for the 2 weeks of the Pan Am Games and the 2 weeks of the Para-Pan Am Games, those buildings were being used for athlete housing. And then of course when the Pan Am and the Para-Pan Am was over, they were able to use it for its sort of final purpose. Anyways, here we can see that we're just about at the end of the portion that's been closed off at Front Street here. So I hope you enjoyed joining me along this narrated tour. If you watched all the way to the end of this video, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below, and thanks for watching.